Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another From the Canopy Film Show. And I'm joined as always with my co-host. We got Cornelius, aka Evil Corny.
What's up?
What's up, man? And Bobby Blockbuster is not going to be with us tonight, but in his place, we've got Justin Bustle from the Tales from the Podcast, man. Podcast. Is that did I say that correctly? And this show is a bi-weekly, terrifyingly fun podcast that watches, discusses, and reviews every episode of the HBO cult classic Tales from the Crypt. You could join them and a slew of guests as they dig into this vault of horror. How you doing, man?
Doing great. I'm sorry that I'm a replacement for the other co-host right now. I'm going to apologize to your audience before we even get started.
No, it's all good, man. We had this schedule before, but Bob, the timing of life, things be happening and stuff like that.
Damn that life thing.
Yeah, but he's going to hang out with us as we do our show today. I do got a couple of news stories. Since Bob's out, we're going to skip the trailers because we do got a lot of films to discuss that, that came out recently. And I'm going to start off with my one news story. So this is kind of exciting in a way. Robert Downey Jr. is reportedly reuniting with Shane Black to tackle a classic crime novel character. And according to the Wrap, the legendary actor is reuniting with one of his greatest collaborators to bring back to the screen one of crime fiction's toughest, meanest anti-heroes. The character is Parker, who I've never heard of, the notorious career criminal and star of 24 Diamond Cut pulp novels by Donald E. Westlake. And he published them under a pseudonym, Richard Stark, because he wrote so many books, he didn't want the people to get tired of them. They say here it's not clear which novel Downey and Black are tackling, but they have a lot of options, and it could be a mismatch of several books, So I don't know. I don't know anything about this Parker character.
Okay, I tell you a Parker movie that you'll know. You ever see Payback?
Yeah.
That's a Parker movie. That's a Parker movie. Is that one? It's a movie called Point Blank. I want to say Jason Statham might have done a Parker movie a couple years ago.
Yeah, I've also read that there's been Parker movies made, but they changed the character of the name. Certain movies that were definitely, based on one of the novels and stories. But I'm cool with this, man. Didn't they do what was some other movie they did together? They did Iron Man 3. What else? There was
Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a classic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. As long as it's not the Predator.
I want to tell you though, that last Predator film was good up until the very end of it, and I was like, ugh.
You got a little wild, man. The Predator dogs. How do you like? It would be like us making human dogs, but putting human faces on them, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what it reminded me of. These dogs had the Predator faces, the mandibles, and the Predator, like that was so crazy to me. Am I the only one?
I like the idea of seeing human dogs now. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Okay, I don't know if y'all remember seeing the Invasion of Body Snatchers from the 70s.
Yeah.
You remember it was a human with a dog. I mean, a dog with a human face on.
Right.
In that.
That's kind of freaky to Mars Attacks.
Yeah, that's kind of freaky to watch. Yeah, Mars Attacks with the Chihuahua and.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I don't know. That was wild, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to that, man. Because honestly, when they do get together, those things are generally good. I remember initially not liking Iron Man 3 as much, but watching it, repeatedly, it's kind of grown on me. And there's things that I didn't pick up because in my mind I wanted, sometimes what we want, and they don't deliver that, but sometimes they have delivered the right thing when you go back and really just clear your mind and take in what they presented to you. I think Iron Man 3 is one of those, so I'm looking forward to see what comes out of this collaboration.
A lot of stuff happens in Iron Man 3. It's
yeah, I mean my man's got PTSD and all kinds of stuff was going on, man.
Yeah.
And it's Christmas time. Is that a Christmas movie?
Yeah, that's a Christmas movie. Yeah, Shane Black is gonna be Christmas.
Hey, oh yeah, he does mess around with Christmas a lot.
Yeah.
The only other story I got is this weekend box office is really a good sign of the health of the box office right now. First of all, Uncharted did $51 million domestically, so that's kind of breaking that whole video game movies are trash curse, or they don't do well at the box office, and it also did over 100 million worldwide. Also, the film that opened this past weekend, we're going to be talking about, Dog, that actually made its budget back, and it was only released here. It made $16 million, which covered the $15 million budget, so they'll probably end up profitable, ultimately. And I guess that's a good sign of the health, man. Like, because I went to the theater and saw two of these films, and especially Uncharted, the crowd was pretty healthy. Like, for what I'm saying, for what we've been getting so far in this pandemic. Like, I haven't seen a crowd this big since Spider-Man No Way Home. And Dog was actually had a lot of people in there when I watched that screening as well. So,
It really caught me off guard because I saw it on President's Day on Monday. I was in the theater then, and it was a crowd.
Oh, yeah. You went on a holiday.
Yeah, it was a crowd.
Yeah. I think that might have helped it too, though, having this 3-day holiday weekend. I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of what helped Black Panther when it came out this time of year. That because February is usually a dump month. They put the garbage out and trying to make it to the summer, limp into the summer. But when Black Panther came out, they had that holiday weekend, and that thing just like it broke records for that month.
Yeah.
It was perfect timing and the perfect amount of hype, going into it. So that's about it, man. Y'all want to get into these reviews? Because there's a lot on the plate, man. I'm gonna save the one that I know we've all seen for last, the horror themed one. So we'll get to that last. So I'm gonna start with these in the order of enjoyability, and the one I'm gonna start with is Uncharted. Treasure hunter Victor Sullivan recruits street smart Nathan Drake to help him recover a 500-year-old lost fortune amassed by explorer Ferdinand Magellan, and this is based on the PlayStation video game series. It's starring what's my man Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, and then Sully is being played by Mark Wahlberg. And I like this thing, man. Like, I can't even front. Like it's nothing's new here. It's basically Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider type, a national treasure. We're looking for the secret treasure, but it was presented in a way that I had fun watching this, man. There was just enough jokes, but not overkill. And it had a good pace and really good action scenes and some really memorable characters. I was surprised. I know some of them are, based on characters from the game, but I really enjoyed it. Maybe the final special effects scene just was too ridiculous just for me. But it didn't throw me out of the movie, but I was already hooked. I was having a blast, so I overlooked the craziness of that moment. But I enjoyed it, man. It was solid.
I thought it was an okay film. Like you said, it kind of retreaded a lot of territory we've seen in other films, but parts of it I did have fun with it. The last sequence, like you said, it was a little too much for me. And also,
who's gonna be mad at that sequence? He's probably tweeting right now. Michael DeGrasse Tyson,
Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Neil deGrasse, Neil deGrasse Tyson's probably like he's mad at this.
yeah.
I didn't get to see it, but I played the games. Is it anything similar to the games?
Yeah. Well, at least the action is definitely similar, and just the whole, like I said, you're globetrotting, you're one clues leading to the next thing, you're deciphering maps and ancient codes. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely has the feel of that, and I think it is the plot in this movie. It's a combination of at least two of the films, and a lot of the characters are in here, but there is one character that I really enjoyed. And I think that character is a combination of two different characters from the games, that they put together.
Which character is this?
The knife lady. I think.
Oh, she's badass. Yeah, she's badass.
Yeah. Steals every scene. But yeah, like Corny said, it wasn't nothing new, but I enjoyed the time that I had with it, man. And sometimes that's good enough for me. You don't got to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, one thing about it is Tom Holland's like young enough to where he could probably be in this role for a good little while. At first he was a little too Peter Parker for me in the beginning of it, and I kind of like how he kind of did the what do you call it, the free running.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that part, but he was a little too Spider-Man for me. But overall, I liked it a lot.
That dude can fucking. He's crazy, dude. If you ever saw his like little Rihanna thing that he did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, his dancing. Yeah, that was cool as hell.
Like, that dude got some moves. He can move around like crazy.
Yeah, he's a dancer background, definitely. So what's interesting about this? Tom Holland, like that's one of my criticism, because he's running around, he's doing this stuff, but I couldn't help but think it's like, yo, like shoot a web, Peter. Like it's his mannerism and like the way he's like, oh, like it just sounds like Peter's banner so hard. And I was listening to Concentrated Podcast, and they reviewed it, and they was like, yeah, it's like he's only got one version of American accent. I was like, maybe and maybe that's it. But yeah, it was solid, man. It was a decent film. Sony's out the gate. They're definitely going to franchise this. This film was 10 years in development. So
I know.
The interesting thing is, I think Mark Wahlberg was originally supposed to play Nathan Drake.
Because Nathan Fillion at one point.
He just got too old for the role.
Yeah.
Because that's another great point. I like to give credit wherever I'm hearing this stuff at Concentrated Podcast. They said he worked out like he had the main role though, and all he does really is fly helicopters.
Yeah,
but he's jacked, sitting behind the cockpit. Like,
I still think that he did his best work with the Funky Punch though.
like deep down in his head, he still wants this role, but it's over, man. But it was solid, man. I mess with it, man.
I'll tell you a movie I really liked him in too is Two Guns with Denzel. That's a fun movie.
Oh yeah.
That's a fun movie. Yeah.
You gotta have the right opposite of him, because he plays that straight kind of dickhead really well. So if you got
might be just a dickhead.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't think he's method acting, man. Not maybe he is the method. He is the dude. But what do you got, Corny, man?
My first film that I'm going to talk about is The Last Son. It stars Sam Worthington, Machine Gun Kelly. I didn't know who Machine Gun Kelly was.
Really? You don't remember from the Bird? What was that movie? The Bird, Blind Bird.
He's done other movies.
Sandra Bullock. The Netflix one that went crazy that everybody loved.
Bird Box.
Bird Box. Yeah, he was in Bird Box. Yeah, he was one of the people in the house.
I live in Ohio. Really? He's from Cleveland, so I mean, he's known around here.
Yeah, but Machine Gun Kelly's in it. Thomas Jane is in it. Emily Marie Palmer is in it, and Heather Graham is also in it. And what happens is Sam Worthington is playing a guy named Isaac LeMay. He is cursed by a Comanche chief, and he pretty much tells him that one of his kids is going to kill him. He's going to die at the hands of one of his kids. So he pretty much, I guess he spread a seed around. So he's going around hunting all of his children to kill them before they kill him. It's a Western. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I didn't really expect much from this film, but I really enjoyed it. It's an interesting film. I'll put it like that. I wasn't expecting anything at all from it.
And what's the name again? You said the
Last Son.
The Last Son. Okay.
Yeah, it's saying The Last Son, but he's pretty much hunting anybody because he was around prostitutes and just sleeping around with women. So he has kids everywhere, and he's pretty much capping them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. And Machine Gun Kelly is one of those kids.
Oh, okay. All right, JB, you got anything you want to mention?
Well, I mean, as far as new ones, I mean, you want to mention it last. I've been rewatching a lot of older stuff, and I'll be honest, I'm super excited for the new Lord of the Rings series. So over the last few days, I've watched all 3 Hobbits and all 3 Lord of the Ring extended versions.
Do you watch the Hobbit extended versions?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I got extendeds on those. How many hours is that combined? So there's probably 12 hours on the original 3 alone, and so
it's longer than 12 hours. It's about
it might be 13.
14
it might be 14 hours with the with the Lord of the Rings alone, because not Two Towers. Return of the King might be a 4-hour movie.
I think I
Return
did.
of the King
I bought
is 4 hours
Return
and 27 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
I got Return of the King Blu-ray at 7-Eleven one day. I think I was drunk and it was late night and it was extended. It was like $5. I couldn't turn that down. I was like, yo, let me get this.
To be fair, I mean, like, other than Goosebumps, it was the first book I really sat down and read. And I had the copy that had like the entire Elven dictionary in the back. And I mean, I spent like 2 years just trying to learn how to speak Elven. Like,
Elvish, yeah.
I got some issues, man. I'll just leave it at that.
I did read that first one though. Like that was one that I read on my own as a kid. The first Hobbit, and then you get the other books and you go through the Towers and the Return of the King and all that. But yo, I'm not even gonna front. One of my favorite is that Return of the King animated. I think that was Ralph Bakshi. And it has this song. It's like Frodo's of the 9 fingers.
No, Bakshi did do.
Like yo, that shit is. You know what I'm talking about? See, look.
I can't remember if Bakshi did The Hobbit and then Return of the King, but I thought who's the guy that did?
I think there was another one in the middle. I know they did The Hobbit and then they did a Return, but there might have been
the Lord of the Rings movie itself was the guy that did rotoscoping, or
it's the same dude. I think it's
it was two different dudes. It was two different dudes.
Bakshi did one, and then let me see, man. And the other one there was one that was kind of bad though.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings, because it combined Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers together.
Yeah, that might have been that one, dude.
Yeah, that one, that was the one that was rotoscoped and stuff, and done by the guy that did like Wizards and all that stuff.
Yeah, who did those though? Ralph Bakshi, but Ralph Bakshi did the Wizards too. So Lord of the Rings, I think that was the one that was done by Bakshi. This is weird, but yeah.
The Hobbit and Return of the King, I think I want to say you might want to look it up, but I want to say
the 1980 Return
it
of
might
the
have been
King
Studio Ghibli before Studio Ghibli got started.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know what studio it is, but it's Jules Bass and Arthur Rankin
Bass.
Jr.
Yeah,
Rankin Bass. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Rankin Bass did one, and I think Bakshi did 2, or the other way around. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, they did the bookends, and then the guy that did rotoscope did Two Towers and
Bakshi
did Bass and Rankin too.
Yeah, so the Hobbit was Rankin in 77, and then Return of the King was at 80, and that was also Rankin. And Bakshi did the rotoscope one. I didn't like that one that much.
I can only remember parts of that, but I just remember Gandalf wasn't right.
Yeah. It was weird, dude. It was a weird thing that they did with that. So I guess
so JB like
that great.
So JB on the rewatch of all 6 of those films, everything still hold up?
I think so. I will honestly say that I didn't even get up to piss. I'm 100% in on those movies, even on the extended cuts where everyone's like, "Oh, it's just boring. They're walking for 4 hours." I mean, I don't care. I love it.
The movie. That's the novel. Like I know that book took me like maybe 20 hours to read. So like,
it takes about 25 to put on just Audible.
I'm just guessing. I don't know. I've just been so long. Like I'm just guessing. But yeah. I mean,
it holds up though, man. I enjoy it. I'm a huge horror fan and fantasy fan. I mean,
that's a good combination.
That's about all I watch. You know, I also rewatched both of the Journey to the West films, but I'm a huge Sun Wukong fan.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, he's also awesome, man. those are some really good movies, man. But all right, my next one, I'm gonna be Dog. This one surprised me because I was, man, like I'm telling you, man, like I'm ridiculous because even with Corny, when he saw that I watched it, he's like, "What?" I was like, "Dude, sometimes I just want to go to the theater, and sometimes I don't care what it is, dude, and I will see some crap or things that I'm not expecting to be good just to go to the theater, you know." And also, I need content for this show. But Dog, So this is the story. This with a dog named Lulu by his side, Army Ranger Briggs races down the Pacific coast to make it to another soldier's funeral on time. Along the way, Briggs and Lulu drive each other completely crazy, break a handful of laws, narrowly escape, evade death, and learn to let down their guards to have a fighting chance of finding happiness. And this thing surprised me. It's the dude with the dog movie, man. This is Turner and Hooch, K9. You know the formula. There's nothing new here at all. But I did have an enjoyable time. Channing Tatum plays Briggs. Anyone could have played this role, to be honest. I think the star here is the dog, which is an interesting choice. I mean, K9, we had a straight up German Shepherd, so this has got the Belgian Malinois. I don't know how you say that, but these are the same dogs from John Wick 3 that Halle Berry was kicking ass with. So it's one of these dogs, and this dog, the soldier that dies is this dog's trainer. And the reason they picked Channing Tatum is because they were all in the same unit overseas, kicking ass, them, the dog, and whatever, you know. And what's interesting about this, I mean, some people could probably consider this military propaganda, but one of the things that I found surprising was, like, he says it, we were killing people, like we were. It's not this like they make it seem like, you know, as raw as it can be, you know, for a film like this. Usually these things are fluff pieces for the military, and part of the appeal of this is him and the dog are jacked up from PTSD. That's why the dog, if you see the trailer, is so unruly and crazy. It's got PTSD. All it knows is that battle zone. It's everything in his brain is, you know, built off being in that war zone in wartime. And same thing with Channing Tatum. He's trying to get back to the action. He's so messed up that he can't even exist in the normal world right here, but he has a head injury that's keeping him from getting authorized. So his favor is to drive this dog down, and his commanding officer will, you know, put in a good word for him. And through the course of events, you know, they kind of help each other out, man. This thing is basic. There's no new ground being broken, but it's done really well, dude. Like I didn't shed a tear. Doesn't get to that point. I have shed tears on dog movie, but for the moment it started till it ended, I was thoroughly entertained, dude. Like I was like, boom, and it worked for me. And it's funny without being silly. And that's it, man. And it's a cool ass dog, you know. You get to see some cool stuff, you know. Like, part of me, when I see things like this, I just rewatched Bullethead, which is a great movie about a dog, but this is like more like Cujo. You see Bullethead, JB?
No, but I've seen Cujo a lot.
Put that on your list. Put Bullethead on your list. It's on Netflix now. It's streaming. I think Cornelius has watched it.
I've never seen Bullethead.
Oh, you haven't seen it? Oh, see it. No. Watch it. It's Adrian Brody film. It's got Malkovich. They're bank robbers, and they just pulled a heist, and they've got to wait to get picked up, but they wait in his warehouse. But meanwhile, in this warehouse, there's been dog fighting going on, and there's a dog on the loose in there, and it's good. It's good, man. It's good. Trust me. Bullethead. Put that on your list.
Put it on my list.
But this was good, man. I had a good time, yo, and like it's definitely, you know, earned, you know, what it did at the box office this weekend, man. You know, it was definitely one of my better moments at the theater on this side of the year so far. Like, to be honest, you know, I know it is only February, but it was a good time.
So it wasn't a Turner and Hooch.
Nah, no, great. It's not Turner and Hooch, but it's like Turner and Hooch light, yo. It's good, man. It's not as good as, but it's solid, you know. So what do you got? Got anything else, Cory?
My next movie is Spencer. Mm-hmm. And it's about Princess Diana. It's like during Christmas holidays with the royal family. She slowly started having like mental and health problems, and I think this is when she pretty much decides on getting a divorce from Prince Charles. Mm-hmm. Interesting film. I wasn't really expecting anything about it. One of my friends, Lindsay, watched it, and they mentioned that they liked it a lot. So I sat down and watched it. It's actually on Hulu right now. Mm-hmm. It stars Kristen Stewart, and majority of the time I don't like her as an actress, but I really liked her in this film.
You know what I realized with her? Like, I feel like she's better than the work that she picks. It's almost like found a cheat code. I could just kind of breeze through this, but I know I could probably get more out if I challenge myself. But since the success of the that old the franchise, the vampires,
Twilight.
she doesn't have to really Twilight. She doesn't really have to sink in, but I found out when she does sink in, she's actually good. Like she's more capable than the roles that she chooses to take at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I really thought this was a well-directed film, and it kind of deals with a lot of her mental issues and everything. I didn't know that Diana was having these problems. I just knew that she, at one point she, in a marriage with Prince Charles, and it kind of showed how the royal family is like real controlling and everything too,
Yeah. I mean, I think we're seeing that in real life. I mean, you look at
with Markle,
Harry, and Meghan, they rolled out. They gave that up. Yeah. Like I think back at then, they probably would have had to stick around, but now, people got more options now. I guess society's progressing. They're like, F this, man. We'll roll out. We'll leave the fortune to y'all. But they did sign some lucrative deals, I've heard.
And that's one of the films I don't think it wasn't listed as like one of the 10 best films. I mean, up for the best picture Oscar.
Yeah,
I wonder why it might not have been. Yeah, the best. I'm kind of wondering why this wasn't nominated and something else gonna probably get bumped off. I did like Nightmare Alley, but I don't think Nightmare Alley is good enough to be an Oscar contender this year.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They could have gave that slot to somebody else.
Yeah.
But this is one that I've heard good buzz about, and the performance in the film and all that. So it's on my list. I'll get to it eventually.
And it is on Hulu right now, by the way.
Yeah. So you guys want to get into this Massacre?
You got something else, JP?
No. Not really.
I'll explain the synopsis. So we did get a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre film straight to Netflix, which was interesting. But in the story, influencers looking to breathe new life into a Texas ghost town encounter Leatherface, the legendary killer who wears a mask of human skin. And what did you guys think?
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it? What?
I didn't see it. I've been hearing so many bad things about it. I didn't see it.
I posted at the beginning is the only thing that we all saw.
It ain't like you had to go somewhere to see it. Right,
no,
what do you think, baby?
Well, I'll be I won't be too spoilery with anything, but like personally, I thought the story was kind of lacking. But I mean, and don't get me wrong, I really love the original one from the 70s. And I mean, Toby Hooper did a great job with it. There's no arguing that whatsoever. And I know that, with that being said, everybody's always like, the Leatherface character, most of the stuff being implied is kind of what makes that movie so horrific, which, I agree. But over the years, we kind of built up this idea of the brutality behind him. And I will say that this movie definitely shows that aspect of it, even though we are not getting a lot of the storyline that I personally would like. I think the story is very lacking. The updating, I think they kind of I don't know, I was talking to a few buddies, and basically what we've come up with is that they tried to Laurie Strode this movie a little bit and do what they did with some of the stuff with the new Halloween. I will say their take on it, I kind of like the outcome of. I don't really care for the idea of it, but the outcome is something that I personally like. When you're talking about, Leatherface, let's be honest. We want to see everybody die, and we want to see most of them die by chainsaw. And you definitely get that in this movie. I wouldn't say it's like the greatest film by any means. The story and the plot is, I mean, we're missing out on some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the character development's there at least.
I don't know, man. Like it developed, but it went in crazy ways that I don't think I would have took that road. So here's my impression of it. Like, it looks great. Like the cinematography is on point. The gore and the effects are on point. But this story was so ridiculous from the start. Like I put it this way, man. I think ultimately I don't like it, but it was so bad that I think I I got most of my fun was just laughing at some of the choices, man. Like for one, there's this trend that, and I get it, man. Like where they're like in movies now, where it's fun to kind of poke at the woke culture and all that, but it was done in a way that was just there's a scene that happens on this bus, man, where they're confronting Leatherface, and I'm just like, no, this is not going to happen. But I get what they're doing, but at the same time, it's like you still got to write that with some purpose and maybe go through a few takes and run it. You know how you punch up the jokes. Like, yeah, pass it through someone before you.
They confront Leatherface with words.
Dude, it's crazy, man. It's all right. So they're influencers, man. So you got everything. Everyone is on their phone.
Okay.
There's TikTok. The people that are moving into this town, they're real big influencers. So basically, they're gentrifying the neighborhood. It's a ghost town that no one lives in. So they think if we move here and start putting our show here, we'll get our friends to move here. We'll turn this thing into the new Austin, and then it goes bad. So there's a lot of things that are fucking with me with this story. So think about this.
I did say the story was lacking, to be fair.
It is, dude. It is because I think you could tell more Leatherface stories, but I would have loved, take this book, make a period piece. Maybe put this in the early 80s. The original first film was that 76, 74, 72 maybe. But maybe this is 80 something, then, but this is 50 years after that original film. Leatherface is like 70 or 80, dude. I'm like, it took a lot, man. So I spent most of my time laughing at this thing.
So this movie
you might like it.
So this movie is almost like if you had Jason and you turned Crystal Lake.
Yeah,
still pretty much get the same thing.
Yeah, no way. You update me. You're putting this stamp on it, man.
There's some good to come out of that, though.
It was interesting. All right, I'll tell you what parts I like. Because he's living here, but he's not alone. He's got family here. But they're like that. I think that first maybe 35 minutes, 40 minutes was solid to me. It was when that bus comes to the town where it falls apart to me. And you know what I'm talking about. It's just like, you had it, but now you just, all right, whatever happens now, it's whatever. But I don't know, man. There are some people who did have good reactions to this film, but for me, like, I didn't hate it, but it's also how I felt with the last Halloween Kills. I was like, it could have been so much better. You've got these great characters and ideas to work with, man. Like I'm not sold on like Cornelius. He always says, well, it's a slasher flick. What do you expect? And I'm like, I mean, Alien, that was a slasher flick. The first Chainsaw, that was a slasher flick. So these things can be good. But I think we're still stuck in an exploitation phase where we got the IP. Let's just make a movie and just throw it on the wall. They're going to come regardless just because they're curious about it. And they're not really concerned with trying to make these things good or have real impact, like those films of yesterday used to,
Right. Well, there still is good with it, like sure, this story might not be for you, but let's be honest, it's bringing a whole new crowd of younger people that have never watched this stuff. And then they're going to search out the originals, check them out. It's going to keep the franchise growing. It's going to bring people to the upcoming Texas Chainsaw game that's coming out. The one that's going to be produced by the same people that did the Friday 13th game. So, I mean, it's supposed to be pretty cool there too, but it's keeping the franchise going. So even if this one isn't exactly for you, without things like this, you're not going to get the next one that, might be the one you love.
How do you think this would have done if it went straight to theater though? And I think
I still think it would have done better than the Leatherface film. That was a fucking whole pile of shit.
I haven't even seen that. I didn't.
Yeah.
I was kind of
talk about how bad this one is.
Yeah, I was kind of warned against that film, so I never sat down and watched.
The last one that I enjoyed, honestly, was the Michael Bay produced one. Like I was like,
the remake with Justin Biel in it. Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's okay. It's not, they at least, but at least the production value was amped up a lot, man. They got R.Lee.
Well, they were going for like a basic remake at that point, and they did a decent job with that one for sure, especially for it being a remake. But I mean, Leatherface was horrible, and I think 3D wasn't that bad either, though.
The 3D one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's
the
tough,
whole
man.
series has been hit and miss since the beginning. Look at you got the original so iconic, but then you got 2 and 3. I don't know if you've ever sat down and
I
watched
like
it.
two though. I
You like it, but you know what I mean. Like
Two was
we
crazy
don't,
though.
you don't like it like because it's an amazing movie though. You
Nah,
like it
it's
because it
ridiculous.
makes you laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And you know what? And I think that's like it's like the time goes fast watching this film, and the stuff that I was seeing, it made me laugh, you know. But it wasn't. It was laughter of like, I can't believe you guys did this. Instead of laughing with them, I was kind of laughing at them. But by me being able to laugh at it, I think it made it more tolerable than if I was just watching it with the mean face like the whole time. You just, and there's, when it's bad, that's what you do. You're just sitting there like, like
I wasn't mad watching it,
But at least this, I was laughing at it, dude.
Right.
I thought we had great moments, like the moment in the field when the initial things happens and he's in the poppies in the middle of Texas? I can't remember, or morning glories or whatever the flowers were. I thought that was really dope. But like I said, once that bus rolled into town, it was a wrap.
Yeah.
It was a wrap.
I don't understand the whole purpose of putting that whole what do you refer to it, like the woke culture thing into it. Like I understand the aspect of it, but that's not what Texas Chainsaw is about. You think Leatherface is gonna care about any of that shit? He's gonna kill you no matter what you are.
But the thing about it, like I've seen it done in other films, but this one, it stood out to me because it's almost immediately, even when they're at the gas station refueling and they
try too hard
with big gun on their head. He's, I'm like, all right, you guys are telegraphing it. It's too obvious to me.
Right. No, I get that. There should have never been anything like that in a Leatherface type movie at all. It just shouldn't exist. That's not what the whole franchise is about. But I still think the kills were cool though. The ending really pissed me off.
They went all out with this. Next time I see an 80-year-old big dude, hey, you got it, dog. I don't want no problem. All right, man. Well, I don't got it. You got anything else you want to bring up? I would still say watch it, man. It's on Netflix now. Go see it, and for if anything, those things are done well. Like I do think it does maintain a good element, atmosphere, and the effects, they're really done well. They went all out. They got good cast people, good actors to play these roles, but it's just that the story falls short, man. So I would check it out though if you got a chance.
It's free if you already have Netflix. You're not losing anything.
Well,
it's not 3 hours long.
No, it's not. It's like 85 minutes, dude. That's including credits.
Yeah.
Maybe this is going to be the new trend, man.
Right. Watch after the credits too.
85-minute horror movies. Let's go. So yeah, you got anything else? You guys?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, I do want to give JB some time to mention something. So you've got a Kickstarter, running, and I think it's doing well already. But I'll let you break it down, man, and explain to the people.
Right. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to, and I greatly appreciate that. And yeah, it's going pretty well. It just launched a few days ago. We're already over 180% funded, but I can always make it better the better it does. And the Kickstarter at this point is basically pre-ordering it, and plus 3 of the covers are only going to be available on the Kickstarter. So cover A is going to be available all the time, but covers B, C, and D are only going to be available for the Kickstarter or when I do private signings or any of the people involved, and even then it's going to be still limited. We made a horror anthology comic book basically in the vein of Tales from the Crypt, EC horror comic books from the 50s. So, like your Tales from the Crypt, your Vault of Horror, your Haunt of Fear, those kinds of stories. And we, if you're not too familiar with that, it's not like we were going for like, oh, these are, 1950 stories. No, these are updated kind of version of us really pushing the horror limit, pushing the boundaries of what horror fans would like, and kind of going on the border there of almost too much. We got really lucky. Our artist Drew Moreland, she studied and did all of her art classes and film classes at the Douglas Community Center under Tom Savini. So, I mean, we got a really good artist who's pretty established for that part. And we've just been pushing it like crazy. As far as the Kickstarter, we're doing digital copies for $4. Cover A is $5. Covers B, C, and D are $10. My personal favorite is the all cover bundle for $25. You get all four. We got some dealer incentives on there. And if you really like Drew's work, she is doing for $75 hand-drawn monster pictures, which are really, really cool. I'm hoping not all of them sell, so I can try to talk her into giving me one. But right, I'm trying not to sell that one though. No, if it sells, it sells. I'm happy with it. She's an amazing artist. We got super lucky, and you know, be honest too. A lot of that money from those drawings is going right back into her pocket. I'm a strong believer when you got a good artist, you definitely deserve to pay them well and give them as much extra as you can. Yeah. You know, it's not an easy task at hand. But there's 3 short stories in it. One is titled Mask, which is definitely probably one of the darker ones. The middle story is Weather the Storm, which is more of a mystery kind of story. You're really not sure what's going to happen till the end. The cover kind of alludes to there being a creature, which is a pretty cool thing that Drew was able to draw and put together. And then the last one is for a story called Pig-Headed, which is more of like a slasher style, which I will say that cover is really, really different. There's a lot of like Easter egg type things on it. No, that's the one for Mask. No. Okay. Yeah, the one for Pig-Headed is the one that's like a CBGB style bathroom stall in the middle of nowhere. And if you're really into like just checking things out, I strongly suggest reading everything on the bathroom stall, because there's phone numbers, names, image, like weird little things on there. But to say the least, they're all real. You can really call and do things with those. It's all pretty interactive, and we made sure to make it pretty fun for everybody involved with it. I mean, we worked our asses off putting this together. We're just hoping to do the best that we can with it. You know, I mean, I already got a lot of the stuff ready to ship them all out. The Kickstarter should be ending around April 2nd. I have hundreds of bags and boards already bagged and board, and behind me, you can't see it. Well, I mean, we're going to be audio anyway, but I got boxes on boxes of Gemini boxes that I've ordered. So everything's going to be shipped out in a very professional manner, all nice and neat, really pretty for everybody. And, you know, we're just trying to give back to the horror community with it all. We do have some stretch goals. We've actually already hit our first one. So for anybody who wants theirs signed, I am going to be signing those. Our next cover, or our next stretch goal will be, I think we're only like $50 away from that. And then our publisher, well, he's a good friend of mine, Josh Nealis. He runs Cutthroat Comics and Publishing. He is actually going to be going ahead and doing some signings for him too at that one. And then once we hit our next stretch goal after that, you'll be getting a digital copy of one of his comic books for free. Then at $800, we will be doing what we're calling nasty sketch cards, where my co-host Chuck Nasty is going to be drawing some nasty shit for people, and we're going to send it out. I've been joking with people that everyone's just going to get a dick pic, but it probably won't be that, just so people know. It's just a joke, guys. But it's just something fun that we wanted to do. And then at our $1,000 stretch goal, we're looking at probably doing buttons, which, you know, something small to be able to throw in there. And you know, hopefully we reach that goal, because if we do, you know, I'm thinking maybe 12 or 1250. I'm in talks right now with, you know, if we get to that point, we're going to also probably try to put out something like trading cards. So just another cool thing to be able to throw back and, you know, kind of encourage the people who've already purchased and already contributed to, you know, share it around and maybe get their friends and family to buy it too, because at that point, the more people that get it, the more free stuff they get. So we're just trying our best to give back to the horror community, and, you know, it's something that all of us love dearly, and, you know, we're just hoping to make somewhat of a mark in this world.
Okay. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Definitely. I'm gonna put the links to that in the show notes. So if you guys want to support and order your own copies and help this movement,
please do. I love it. It's all over on my website too at talesfromthepodcast.com. And you scroll down, you see the pictures of the Kickstarter. Click those pictures. It sends you right there.
JB, we do post this on YouTube, so on our YouTube page. So if you have anything to show on camera.
Yeah.
Well, it's not printed yet.
Okay. Yeah, I just send it over you.
Yeah, if you got any, if you got any images you want to send me, any covers or anything, I'll put that on here.
These are Gemini boxes.
Okay.
No, I got some images I can send your way. So if you wanted to pop some of them up, give me just 1 second. I'll send those over to you. So I'll do one really quick just so I can get it started. But I got some with basically all the covers on them. Some of the stretch goals on there as well. I just went ahead and sent those over to you so you can check those out. I'll be honest with you, some of the other actual images from the comic book itself are very, very large files.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not
good. I can imagine.
I can probably just use some of the stuff that you got, from the Kickstarter, so.
Right. Well, I threw a bunch of them into our chat, so I mean, you definitely got a few things there that you can go ahead and share around, and I gave you a couple extra pictures too, which are some sneak peeks into it, which I haven't been sharing with everybody. So actually, for anybody who is watching those last few pictures I sent you,
you got exclusives.
Yeah, the one of them has been shown a little bit, but the other one is definitely not as it's not shown around as much, to say the least. We're trying to be very like the only way you're gonna get people to check things out, back it and everything is to kind of like tease and imply, and if you give too much away, it's just too much. So we're and on the Kickstarter itself, we actually have some really cool videos on there too. Drew went ahead and did some time-lapse videos of her doing the artwork, which is all 100% done by hand. And cover A, if you take a look at that one, that is actually 100% hand painted. And the time-lapse video for that is actually on the Kickstarter as well. And it's it's kind of our ode and taking it back to the EC comics, because they didn't have digital work back then. And I'm not saying that we don't get hand done stuff anymore, but I mean the reality of it is like the hand drawn stuff might make up 6 to 8% of the market nowadays.
Yeah,
the majority is digital. So this right here took her a few months to do all of the drawings and to really put it together. But I mean, we worked really hard on it, and it's been a journey, to say the least.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. So do you guys plan to do any hit up any comic conventions or any of the nerdy conventions, and I guess in the coming months, with the physical copies of the book and stuff?
I'm actually already booked at a few, and I'm already booked for a few signings in my area.
Nice.
I mean, as far as the horror people around here go, which, in my area, it's a pretty tight-knit group. Basically, every one of them knows who I am, and, and they're already trying to help me out and get me in on a lot of these places. Me and the publisher, Josh Nealis, he's, we're doing a lot of things together because he just lives like a couple hours, like not even a couple hours, maybe an hour, hour and a half away from me at most. So he and I are hitting up a lot of the same conventions to save money on tables, stuff like that, and just kind of help each other out and really promote everything out there, And plus, it's nice to have a partner when you got a table, because if you got to piss, it's a total fucking
some rando like, hey, maybe the guys next to you, hey, watch my table.
Right.
But I wouldn't trust a customer. Hey,
no, not at all. We also have a really cool video that's on our on the Tales from the Podcast page. So if you're scrolling, like obviously every picture is a link. So I mean the podcast links, the Facebook, Twitter, all of those are links. So click any of those pictures. But if you scroll, I believe it's underneath the Kickstarter, there's a video. That video is actually a teaser video done by Drew Moreland. And not only did I, she does artwork, but she went to film school. She runs Panic Terror Films. And she did a professional commercial for this as well, which turned out really, really good. And we may or may not be in talks about turning some of this into an anthology series on film. So, and she's already becoming quite the name in her little area down in Pittsburgh, which is, pretty big for doing a lot of, like indie filming and stuff. And so, we were in talks to do quite a bit. So we got some hopes that this project might actually do good. And, considering how fast we've been funded and overfunded, we're definitely in a good spot. And, hopefully more people buy 1 or 10 of our copies. So, I mean, we're hoping for the best.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's what's up, dude. Definitely, man. So, like I said, I'll put the links for all this stuff in here if you guys want to, check out what JB's working on, and support, man, because that's what we're trying to do, man. I see you out here, you know what I'm saying, for years, pulling off this Tales from the. I gotta get on the show, man. The Tales from the podcast. You got it, man. Like the
he
thing
put you on
about
the
it,
spot,
man.
JB. I was on a couple of years ago. How long has it been?
It's been a while, dude.
Actually, I am about to, because I did run found footage radio beforehand, but as far as just this show goes, in about a month, I will be having my 4-year anniversary.
Really?
So, I mean, it's longer. Yeah. And it's taken me a long time to get through this series, I'll tell you that. And it's going to keep going because, I mean, I'm on season 5 right now, getting ready for season 5, episode 7. And then after that, I got 3 seasons of a cartoon. I got 1 series of a game kid show that a lot of people don't remember, the Secrets of the Crypt Keeper's Haunted House.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I got that. And, I've been doing movies in between. I had MZ on for one of the Amicus films because I did both of the 1972 Tales from the Crypt and the 73 Vault of Horror, which are, a lot of people don't realize about those. Great. Yeah. Amazing. Like, honestly, my favorite version of All Through the House is actually in the Amicus film compared to the TV series in the first season. Even though, you got Larry Drake pulling off that deadly Santa Claus in the series, and he pulls that off like a creepy motherfucker. He does a good job, but I still think the Amicus is better. Mm-hmm. And, not only do I do all that, but I compare it all to the source material, which is always a fun thing, trying to compare stuff from the 90s to
that's the thing, because I guess some of the episodes from the series were from actual books, but I guess what's the ratio? How many more were just them just making stuff up, or were they all based on the books?
There's, I believe, 1 made up. A couple of them were made for spin-off shows. So like King of the Road, that one, Yellow, and there's another episode. King of the Road, by the way, is the one with like Brad Pitt. Yellow has the Douglases in it. Those were made for the Two-Fisted Tales series that never launched, so they just turned them into Tales from the Crypt episodes. But literally every one of them, except for the 3 Little Pigs episode, is actually in the comic books. And
I guess some of them had to be, updated for current times when they were released, because like those books are what, like 60s, 50s, like
1950 to 1955.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's like, you know what I'm saying? Some of those things could translate, but then there's other ones I would think they would have to be updated to reflect, the time they were released, because I don't think they were doing like many like flashbacks when that series came out. It was just like, all right, this is the time, this is what's going on, boom. They weren't, well, maybe sometimes. I remember that Vietnam. Which episode was that? That was one I remember. There was like a
war one. That's Yellow.
And there was something like a gas or something that was messing the soldiers up, almost like with some zombie stuff. Remember that? I can't remember the name of that.
That's the one with Steve Buscemi in it. Oh man, I can't think of the name of it.
Crazy.
Yeah, where he was a photographer.
He was supposed to be in. And there was like a yellow gas, and that was wild. Man.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. It's weird seeing a lot of those people too, and a lot of those actors actually worked for Scale back in the day.
Was that actually also? He just died, dude. My man, I swear it was Buscemi, but also dang, it was Game Over, man. The names are escaping me. Right
Patton.
Patton, was he in there too? I think he was in that, man.
That episode was Forever Ambergris, and it was Roger Daltrey. He was in it. Steve Buscemi, Paul Dooley, Marshall Bell, Titus Welliver, who probably most well known for Deadwood. Kevin Benton was in it. Louis Ramos and Tim Arnn. So yeah, that's who was in that one. And that was a really fun episode though, seeing that one.
Yeah, it was weird. It was dark too, man. Those dark twisted endings always, they always hit, man. Yeah. But I think that's it, folks, man. We're gonna wrap this up, and check out JB's Kickstarter, man. Check out his podcast. It's great. It's entertaining. It's fun. Thank you. Especially if you're horror buff, man. Because we cover all kinds of films, but his is more, horror centric. So if you're definitely leaning more toward that, definitely go there to check that out. But it's been Monk. You catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the podcast at From Canopy on Twitter, at From the Canopy on Instagram, and you can email us FromTheCanopyPod at gmail.com. And I'm changing that because we're no longer a podcast. We are a network and we do shows. We're not just audio now. So
we do.
Yeah, Cory's messing with me. See, I'm buzzing, man.
I was hoping I was going to hear from the Canopy net.
I missed the staff meeting.
We're the network. We're the Canopy network.
I missed the staff meeting. I'm Cornelius Bros. You can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, on Instagram, Cornelius Bros, on Twitter at Cornelius 1976, and on TikTok. At some point, I'll start doing TikTok videos, but
He's never doing no TikToks.
I'm never doing TikTok videos. He's lurking. But I'm Cornelius 1976 on that also. And I also, like I said, I was on the episode of Tales from the Podcast a couple years ago with JB.
I thought you were about to say Tales from
I was a stand-in for the Crypt Keeper. But anyway, like when you go back and start watching some of those episodes are really good. And I kind of wish they were on HBO Max right now.
That would be a good get for them.
Yeah, I still don't understand why those things aren't on HBO Max.
Do you want to understand? If you got a
minute, you got a couple minutes. Shit, I ain't doing
okay. So the Tales from the Crypt just got done with the Joel Silver's holding case. So what ended up happening with that is all of the rights for Tales from the Crypt and the Crypt Keeper name were actually under Joel Silver's holding, which everyone knows Joel Silver. Pretty fucking big producer. Yeah, but that case just ended. He basically no-showed a bunch of it and let the rights resort back to the Gaines family, who own EC Comics. So yes, as of just a couple months ago, we're pretty fresh. They can actually do stuff with the property now. As far as like a reboot or something, we have a few issues because this is owned by like the TV to Crypt Keeper is owned by like WB and HBO.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be able to pretty much do that. But the comic book version of the same character of the Crypt Keeper, who looks entirely different, is from the comic book. So they could use him. So they might have to figure out.
You gotta come with the HBO guy though. You gotta come with that. I would just cut the deal with HBO, man. Let them handle all the heavy lifting and just.
Well, HBO doesn't own the rights to it.
Yeah, but lease it to them. Because now you're saying the family owns the rights now, right? So lease it.
Well, they own the rights to the name and everything, not the rights to the episodes that aired.
Oh, really?
So
it's that complicated.
It's kind of like Star Wars. You know what I mean? Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney, but Disney never got the original cuts of Star Wars. They got the remastered versions. So I mean, it's like, well, you can have this back, but not this part of it.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So it's a similar situation. The only thing that I can really say is that the property is back in the original owners with EC Comics and the Gaines family, which hopefully means that we might have something in the future. Sure, the Crypt Keeper might be different. Hopefully they're able to still pull something off and have John Kassir do it, because that voice is realistically what made him. And but I mean, this is the first step to being able to get some of it at least. So that the big part of it, which I mean, that case has been going on for a few years. So the fact that it actually finished up last year is It is amazing. I was so excited for that. Kind of like how everybody's gonna feel once Friday the 13th.
That's movement. At least.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. So tell the people how we could track down Tales from the Podcast.
TalesFromThePodcast.com. Every picture's a link. It's super easy. I mean, I made it so basically anybody can figure it out. I'm anywhere. Search me up on Pornhub. I might be on there soon. Just doing everything I can. I'm gonna start an OnlyFans. I'm basically just gonna whore myself out until I get this stuff funded. So, hopefully you're into fat white guys because that's what you're getting. But I appreciate every bit of it.
Will you wear one of those Crypt Keeper masks during your OnlyFans?
Not that one, because I spent way too much money on it. That one costs as much as a comic book, and I mean, those 50s comic books don't go cheap. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, nah. All right, folks, man.
For you,
I think
Corey,
that's
I'll
it.
do it.
Yeah, I think that's it, folks, man. We're gonna catch y'all next time, man. Subscribe to the channel, and we're gonna be back next week. Peace.